Hello, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut with Brian Galke. How's it going, Brian?
Good.
Ace is 53, by the way, if I didn't say.
Yeah.
All right, it's been one of those weeks. Days run into nights and nights run into days.
It's funny. Somebody asked me like, "Oh, what'd you do after Secret Knock?" I'm like, I don't even remember when that was, and that I can't tell you what I did last week. I really can't tell you, like what I did.
Why are you laughing?
Because somebody asked me like, "Oh, what'd you do last week after you got back?" I'm like, I don't remember. Like I didn't go to anything yesterday. I just can't tell you what I did last week. I know a lot of it was prepping for this week because I leave Wednesday and tomorrow to go to Columbus, Ohio, doing training for 2 small groups of executives. So doing 18 CEOs and C-level suite on Thursday, and then another group on Friday, and then fly home. But I can't tell you where last week went. Like, what did I do? Where did I go? It's all just running together. So
I'm so sorry. I know exactly where I was last week.
Where's that?
I was here until Wednesday, and we went to Vegas.
Uh-huh.
And on the way to Vegas, the whole time my wife gives me not to drive the whole hour. Because anyway, we'll move on. I actually set up Claude and Claude Code and in Terminal and all the different ways that they tell you how to do it.
Okay.
And because that's something I want to start coding in, because I just see what it does differently from because I used it to fix a few of my apps because I was listening to Nuno the other day.
Yeah.
You got something in front of your face.
Do I?
I don't know. You're down for a second. You're back now.
Oh, that's weird.
Could be me.
I'm just still sitting here.
You're on my side, maybe. I don't know. I didn't do a test like I normally do.
I turned off Wi-Fi. That's one of the few times I actually remembered to do it today. So
no, I have no idea what it was. But so I said, I've been watching Nuno. I've wanted to do it. I used it. I uploaded a bunch. It could be my side. I'm only about 300 up. That's downloads. So that means I'm slow. Yeah, it is slow. I did have my office rewired though with a new cable last week. So
I got you.
800 plus download. So upload. I mean, so it's all you.
Could be.
Yeah. Anyway, so I worked on Cloud Code because I used it to re-look at all the apps that I had created, and I found a bunch of little things, and I was like, wow, it's just so smart to be able to do, looking at things. And I'm like, and it gives you these. It's just really amazing, and you can search it. Like you can go tell it to go get a report for you. Go to search whatever on these different things. It comes back and creates it, and then you can tell it to make a PowerPoint. Well, if you don't give it a skill or a certain like Gamma, you hook up Gamma to it, and then when it creates a PowerPoint, it creates this amazing PowerPoint in like 2 seconds. And same thing with the whole search. It's just amazing what you can do with it. With ChatGPT, you can connect it to other things, but it's not the same. It's not. It seems like it's a totally different, and I could be totally wrong, but it just seems like it's a totally different level.
Yeah.
So ChatGPT I still use, but one of the, I've been watching all these people with the Claude. What was the one that everybody jumped on? Claude, CLAWL.
Claude Code. Yeah. Claude, like.
And then now they have co-work through Claude, and that's what I started playing with. Actually, yesterday when we got back Sunday. My wife's car is a mess, so I said I'll take it to the thing, get it washed, whatever. I'm in there, and I get my report from my VA, and I'm like going, God, I wonder if I could do this. So I dropped that information into co-work and said, hey, can you do this?
Yeah.
And it said, let me go through. And first thing was, one of the things they do is they go through my email and find people who want to be on the podcast, which is a lot of people reach out. And so it went through. I goes, I already have access to it. You gave it to your email. So let me go through them. And it found people who had requested and found the people that she had replied to. And then it's like, okay, what do you want me to do with, this is this person's, which you really aligns with Inner Edison. What do you want me to do? Reply, back to them. And it says, I found the link that you normally give out. Is this the one? Should I include this in the email? And so I said, yes. And then now it's set up a task every morning at 9 a.m. It goes through my email, finds all the people who's reached out to be on the podcast.
Okay.
Second thing I had to do was go back through, and that's both my because I have 2 emails that it comes through. I actually should do the third email because those are real estate jerky and other stuff. But then I asked it, hey, Can you go back through all my stuff and find all the opportunities for affiliate stuff?
Mhm.
Because I have had a ton of people reach out. But again, it's staying on top of that stuff is difficult. Even with the
Right.
person you hire, they just don't do it the same way you would do it. And so I
Right.
found a bunch of them and said, okay, well, rent to sell, and I already signed up for that one.
Okay.
And there was 2 other ones. And I said, okay, well, I already did this one. Go ahead and send the information for the other 2. And it sent the information, and we'll see what happens.
So when you say sent the information,
Send an email back to them about what they were asking and everything else and how to sign up.
Okay. So here, and I'll have a follow-up question to it. You're looking at already using Claude to replace a person, right?
I'm using it. Well, my whole goal for my assistant wasn't for them to do this.
Right.
It was to stay on top of the podcast. It was to run my store and other things, but they've been sticking in this area.
Gotcha.
And I don't need it. I know there was going to be something that could go through my emails and tell me what I need to go back through and talk to. Well, now it's going to tell me every morning, what do you want to do? Boom, boom, boom. I'm done. And then one of the things I have it also now doing is going to Pod Match and doing the same thing there.
The reason I ask is, did you hear about Oracle's layoff last week?
No.
Laid off 30,000 people on April 2nd, I think, by email, 8 a.m. By the way, you're no longer needed. And it's not due to profits, because profits are still up, but they're saying the same thing. AI can do all these things. And of course, what they went after is who had higher salaries, who's been there 20 plus.
Middle management's gone.
Exactly. Well, now they're even saying, no, and this is a crazy one. Now they're saying actually they're reversing that a little bit, and they're keeping some mid-level managers because AI needs to ask a person questions. So it started, you're right. 2025 was called the Great Unbossing, and that's where they were getting rid of mid-level managers. Well, now that was before AI really became prevalent. Now they're getting rid of lower level people, but they need AI to be able to ask somebody questions like an employee would. So now they're saying, well, maybe mid-level managers are safer again because AI needs to have somebody in charge of AI. And so now
it depends on the job.
Yes.
I think it depends on what is required, because you have the workers, then you sometimes have a manager, and then you have you have a director, and then you have their boss, and then the main boss.
Yep.
I'm just saying a couple of those, I consider 2 of those middle management. One of them will be gone. The other one,
yes. Yeah.
And it's because it's where we're going to become more efficient. And that's the thing, what people understand. I've seen this stuff happen. I saw the, 1980s. I wasn't really that old, but I can watch movies and stuff like that. Leverage buyouts where they buy the companies, sell off all the equipment, and then raid the pensions. It's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's happened, and that's what I see happening. Well, I want to be more productive. I want to create more, but I don't want to have wasted money going somewhere where I could have it somewhere else. Because I was talking, because someone was telling me that you can use Claude to put stuff into Go High Level and be able to send out all your social media and all this other stuff. And then I want to spend my time with clients. I don't have to spend my time overseeing other people doing the job I need them to do.
Right. It just, again, I don't know where this is all going, but I think it was over the weekend. It might have been Billie Jean, might have been somebody else, but they were talking about what Manoush told us 3 or 4 years ago, that at the rate that companies are going with layoffs, that people will be given a universal supplement to not work because there's not going to be enough jobs. So I don't know. Were you there when
I heard that. I heard that there's somebody else. I don't know if it was Manoush but more Qasim or somebody else like that. There was somebody who was saying that.
Yeah, and universal income.
Actually, I interviewed a guy who was in LA, and he says there's going to be a universal income where people don't work. Yeah, that's already there. It's called SNAP. Yeah, because you were supposed to get on it and then get off of it, but now they keep them on it, and that's already there. But I don't think that. I think you're going to have the opportunity to do so many other things that you would not have been able to do before. True. There's going to be a lot less large companies and a lot more smaller companies.
There's going to be a lot of smaller companies, but the problem is people, like all of us, right? You live up to your income level. So people get promotions, they get raises, all this. Well, then when they get laid off, there's no jobs out there at that same salary level, and they can't afford what they have. So you're going to see, I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see. I think there will be a version of it that's out there, but like anything else, look, there's people who work one job and there's people who work 3 jobs. Driven people will find other ways, like you're talking about. They'll vibe code, they'll start another company. Some people will go, I only know how to do one thing. I'm an old dog and I can't find a job in that. I went through that when we went through layoffs when I was in corporate America. People got laid off. They had a 2-year non-compete and they couldn't find other jobs because like, well, I don't want to take that one for less salary. It's like, yeah, but unemployment, for anybody who's never been on it, when I went on unemployment, it's $1,000 a month.
Yeah, Texas. It's not what you make.
No,
it's bare minimum.
Yes,
it's what SNAP should have been.
Yes. And it was crazy. I was like, okay, I thought it was a percentage of your salary. And when I first got it, they're like, oh yeah, you do all these things and you get $250 a week. I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, and you have child support. So we actually take half of that. So we get $125 a week. I'm like, but I said, child support comes directly out of my bank account. And I already have money for that. And they're like, yeah, but we don't know that. So we're going to have to take it also. And I'm like, so that for me to go through unemployment and do the required, like apply for X many jobs and all that, would have ended up only being $500 a month.
Right.
And I'm like, I always thought, because I always heard these stories of, oh, people are on unemployment, and that's, for years. And I'm like, how are they paying for anything? It's nuts.
They're not. They're not really. Those guys on unemployment they're also commissioned now at the same time to where they don't have to show their income for a year.
Yeah.
That's the only way they're surviving. A lot of people went on unemployment to get in the mortgage business or the real estate business. And, but it doesn't pay anything. It's not for long term.
No, it's definitely not. I always thought, again, just ignorance. I thought it'd be a percentage of what I made. And I was making a hefty salary when I got let go. And I was like, oh, what? That's all you get? So, yeah.
Yep. That's all you get.
Mm-hmm.
So be careful.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just saying right now you should be focusing on what you can do. Go find out what you can do and go do that.
That's just it. Do your job, but figure out what else can you do, because you just look 30,000 people unemployed via email, right?
And that was right after that week of amazing job creations.
Right. Well, and so what Amazon this year's laid off 15,000, Oracle laid off 30. One of the payment method ones, the Cash App, and I can't remember what else they are. Maybe it was Square, laid off 8,000 people with a tweet. I mean, if you look at the amount of jobs that have been let go so far this year, and it has nothing to do with like companies bleeding money, they're just saying, oh, operational efficiency, we can do it with AI now. You either have to learn how to use AI, or you better learn some freaking people skills, or you're going to be screwed. There is no ifs, ands, or buts.
No, I totally agree. There's so much out there that you can do. And there is an opportunity. Even this isn't like we had a Great Depression and people were not working. When we were in Vegas, we actually went and saw the Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
Well, the Hoover Dam, I'm sorry, people got paid to work.
Yeah.
But they really didn't get paid to work. They got script. You there? You looking at something else? So they got paid in script that they had to use at the company store.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that script was truly only worth like 40 cents on the dollar that they would get. Plus, on top of that, they lived in housing, and they'd have to pay for their own housing and it came out of their income. So that they were but people had jobs. They had 1,400 people go on strike, and they were all fired, and 1,400 new people came in and took over.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so what I'm getting at is, we've been through these things many, many times, and we come out on the other side with other jobs and other things. That's exactly what this Industrial Revolution came out, got rid of the horse and buggy and all those different things that happened, and factories created, and then people were working too hard and they weren't getting paid enough, and that changed. They had unions come in and all that. The same thing's going to happen here. Something else is going to happen when we have AI is going to do stuff for us. But there is the great trust recession that I keep hearing about.
Yeah.
And that's going to make some major changes for certain industries, but not for all industries.
Right. Well, there was another article I saw last week, was one of the guys do you ever watch Trailer Park Boys?
Mm-mm.
It's a TV show on. I guess him and his brother made $1 billion with just him, his brother, and AI. And that's what they're talking about. Is like, to your point, if you go out and you learn how to use it, and you don't have to learn how to use all of them. It's like, this is where, and I'm guilty of this, we're in a mastermind called Ignite, right? And they teach us about all the different platforms. And you and I have talked about this before. It's like, I just stopped joining everything because every day they were teaching us something new in AI. I'm like, oh shit, I should use that. Oh shit, I should use that. And what we found out is like, no, you got to stick to what works for you. So for you, it's Replit. For me, it was Lovable. I still use GPT chat. You're now into Claude, and the amount of people I know moving to Claude, it seems like that's the way to go. And then Perry did say long term, he thinks Gemini will come in. They'll be late to the game like everything else, but Google is so large, he thinks that's the one that will win out in the long run. So even if you're just in Chat GPT, play with the others so that you can find out which one is you. I mean, you don't hear people talk about Perplexity that much anymore. And a year ago, people are like, oh my God, Perplexity can do so much more. And it came out with its own browser and other things, Atlas, that you could use. And now I don't hear anybody talking about Perplexity.
No, but I hear a lot of people. Yeah, actually, is that the search one? Is that the search? What's a search with Google?
Gemini now.
Is it Gemini or
yeah?
Well, because I've been watching too many things, and I'm not kidding. So one of the things I did is because Perry said there's going to be $1 billion business out there that's owned by one person. So I said, let's see here. I said to Claude, not ChatGPT.
Right.
I told it. I said I want to be the first $1 billion company with only one person. What is the ways I can make this happen? And it gave me the formula because I already built some things that just need to, and it was talking about, so I built the VA claim bridge and I got to finish it. And they're like, well, you can sell that for $100 million once you get 10,000 clients through there.
That's crazy. Okay.
Because people want the information, the data. It's all about the data.
Right.
And that's what it was talking about. And then it looked at all the other stuff I had that I've built, and I built this AI jerky, which has to do with AI, which is the thing I told you about. I just haven't deployed it because SMS isn't working right now, but the email part is. And it was talking about that. And then I created a thing for my industry called Rate Jerky, which is basically, so I do the Real Estate Jerky radio show, which that's why it's all jerky. And it told me to keep it in that. When they told me a couple of my things I created to give with that as that Rate Jerky, to include it in there for free. So they start using my short URL and all the other stuff, because it's really hard to compete with Built, who's been around forever.
Yeah.
Even though mine's better. It is, but it doesn't matter. It's not the best. And that's what you're going to run into. It's not the best. It's whoever can market the most, who can ever do everything else the most.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the money. So it built me out a whole plan. I told it to build me out a 90-day burn, and it built me out, and daily what to do and what I got to get done in the next week and what I have to do the week after. And this is a 4-year plan to be to $1 billion in 4 years.
Wow.
That's not cash to me. That's the, when they talk about $1 billion company, that's what you're earning in revenue and stuff like that.
Yeah. I found the article. Let me see if I can share it here.
Because it was telling me I'm already doing 90% of the product work. So I'm already there, you know what I mean, to do the stuff I need to do. So.
Okay. So here it is. So he built a $1 billion.
You're on mine.
Oh, am I? Oops.
Yeah.
Roof. Oh, that's weird.
Click yours back to stage.
Oh,
that's it. There it is. It's back now.
Okay. Yeah, there. Okay. I don't know why I did that.
Because mine was there ready to go first, because I was going to show you my COD and the co-work. But anyway.
So yeah, he built a $1.8 billion company. So they went through and said, okay, how did he do it? So basically a dozen AI tools. What were they doing? So they turned basically a telehealth company that's in there. But what I liked about the article is they broke down what they use. So ChatGPT, Claude, Midjourney, Runway.
Mm-hmm.
Then, what was the platform? What did they sell? And then they broke down each of the tools. But it's crazy to sit here and go, okay, him and his brother, and it's $1 billion company.
Yeah, because but again, they went into a market, telehealth, which is, that's what you have to do. You have to figure out what your market is. That's the problem people don't do. They spend all this time figuring out their brand in the wrong market.
Right. So,
and you got to remember, if they started that stuff, the question will be, when did they start it?
Right.
That's huge. Because Nuno had a lady on, and they have a brand pod is the company, and it's to help you get on podcasts and on stages. But first thing it does, it has you find out your brand, and Nuno is using it.
Yeah.
And he was saying how it's good. He goes, I only put on things I use. I'm not going to, promote. And he goes, I'm not making any money off this. This is truly, here's a link. It's affiliate link, but it's not affiliate link. I'm not making money off of it.
And that's what I like about Nuno. You can tell that dude's got a giving heart. Like, yeah, he's got to make money like everybody else, but the amount of stuff that he puts out for other people that you don't, he's kind of got the Hormozy approach, right? And that is, he puts out so much information and people will still pay him to do it, but it's crazy what all he puts out there.
Well, here's the problem with a lot of us. We do a lot of time for money, and you can't. If you want to build $1 billion company, it's not time for money.
Yeah.
It's stuff being done when you're sleeping, stuff's being built. And that took me for what?
I just had an idea of we should bring Martha back on again. So anyway, go ahead.
I think I love Martha. I don't know what she's doing, but there's so many other things and so many other stuff, people out there we need to bring on.
Agreed.
Just who's doing so much new stuff, just like that people we had on, because people want to know, how can I make money off of this? And that's the biggest thing. Everybody's like, I can vibe code, I can do this. How do I make money off of it? I don't want to do, and the way that now with Go High Level has the Vibe code builder inside of it for websites and eventually even for apps.
Yeah.
They're gonna, Levelable's gonna, I'm sure is crying right now. Replit will be, but I don't think Cloud Code will be, because you can bring it in and it does so many other things. But
yeah,
I just, I'm like, okay, now I can use High Level for what I really needed to do, because you bring Cloud Code into it, you tell it to do everything for you.
Yeah.
Fix my tags, fix this, up to this, fix my opportunities, make it the process. You're going to have AI in there with like Cloud Code, if you have that, to do all this stuff instead of a person that has no idea what you're wanting. That was my biggest problem with High Level, is I had to use somebody else to set everything up,
right?
Or I had to learn everything, and I was already 4 years behind.
Well, you and I talked about before, there was people who before they're like, oh, $8,000 to set up your High Level in a website, and now $500. Like, it's crazy what you can do,
because that is generic website. Nobody's building those. Even like Nuno was saying the other day, he goes, when I first started, it was like $400 websites. I do not do anything for that price. Yeah. Neither do I. 5,000 plus. And the reason is because all the stuff we connect to it now it's like a living thing now. It's not a website. A website was a static page. You got nothing off of it.
Right.
Now you have to have all this stuff on it to get found and do all these things and get people to come on there, stay on there. But the first thing I would tell you to do is watch, go to Nuno's channel, try to find or just go to Brand Pod and find it. I think it would help you. But the other one is it came out with the white agency. That's not what I was looking for those people with the link I sent you. That was build AI agents and generate qualified leads 24/7. And it was showing how it talked about, I think it's amazing thing that these people have. And I think everybody should listen to this thing on Nuno's automated marketer. It was, I would listen to it, I was like, shit, I got to sign up for this.
He is good about that.
Do you have the link for that? No. I'm going to copy it.
The one that you sent me earlier?
Yeah. Can I put in the
you put it in the private chat?
Everybody?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Go to that link.
I need to open up another window so it opens in my other.
Yeah. Not in your front of your face.
Yeah. Or because
he had
yeah. Well, I've got another one. I also
had a Caesar.
So that it opens up in my personal YouTube. Don't know why.
The big thing is
today it's killing me.
Back to those people who building on $1 billion company.
Yeah,
they had a plan. They put it together, did it. You can have one of these things help create that plan with you. Yeah, and do it and tell it step by step. What do you need to do? And it told me exactly what I needed to do, and it told me to sell one of my apps to get rid of, and it told me where to go to sell it.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. I said this one's worth 30 to 80 grand. Just don't work any harder on it. Just sell it and be done with it, and use that money to put back into this to build this up. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that was in Claude.
Yep.
I need to sign up. I'm
at the $200 a month because I'm using it for everything.
Right. Yeah, I'll go in with the trial one and figure it out.
But the biggest, the one thing that's,
yeah.
So the difference is like Lovable's the IDE, and so is Replit. The way that you do the auto, it's automatically got everything in there. With Claude code, you have to create everything. You have to put all the skills into it. You have to do all the different things. Like a skill would be, well, you have to do MCP. There's so many things you have to do. Watch stuff. And they got a vibe coding thing in the month to where if you haven't, the emails yesterday came out, and I copied, pasted, and sent to him. I said, I think you know by now, but just in case you don't, your email had the wrong date.
Oh, did it? Oops.
Any LOL?
Yeah. What did I have? I had something. There's something somebody else sent, and I was like, that was last week. Like when their email came out, I'm like, oh, it was something like, come to our happy hour. It was for charity. And I was like, cool. It was April 4th. I'm like, not gonna be able to quite do that, but okay.
Oh, and the other thing, if you're setting up Claude codes, what I did is Nuno told me how to do it, right? And then he gave these SOPs and stuff, and I just dropped it in Claude and told it to, hey, help me figure this stuff out. And it told me exactly how to do it step by step. Copy this code over, copy this into here, copy this into here. Nuno tells you that, but I wanted something to be like, oh, can you do it, idiots? For me, please? Yeah.
Somebody was teaching the other day, like how to take all your stuff out of ChatGPT and put it into a DM file to upload into Claude. Because I guess,
you know what I would do? I would just ask Claude.
Yeah, how to do it. Yeah.
The funny thing is, everybody wants to know how to do shit. Yeah. Just ask the one that you want, because it will tell you.
I hit up Joel on something this weekend. I was like, hey, how are you using this? I'm like, why didn't I just ask ChatGPT? Like it's going to give me a faster response. I don't have to bother somebody else. And I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, because I got to get better at following up with people, after the fact. So, but hey, let's wrap it up for today.
Hold on, let me say something.
It's killing me.
ChatGPT to you. And the other thing set up is the voice. Yeah. Go away,
the
George.
Voice stuff.
I'll work on it more. It didn't tell me exactly. All right. So Brian won't be here Thursday, possibly. I will. And then next week you're not here either. You said we never finished that conversation.
I'm off to Ohio this week, and then next week I am in. I fly into Philly. I take a train to Maryland, speak in Maryland, take the train back to Philly, speak in Philly, and then fly home on Friday.
So there's no time at all in there.
Not unless it's because I'll be checking out of hotels and into new ones. So we'll figure it out.
How about on the train?
Yeah. Well, it might be possible to do from the hotel on. No, that's Wednesday I speak.
Yeah,
Thursday.
So when do you leave?
Tuesday. So I fly out on Tuesday. I don't even know what time. It's my last flight that's booked.
All right, well, let's close out this and we'll talk about it in a second. All right, and there's a link in the chat for people that has this. I'm not making any money off of it, but Nuno had a build AI agent to get leads, and I think it was amazing. So I think you guys should check it out. All right,
it's two different ones you have in there. Isn't
that the same one?
No, 2682S and 2683S.
Well, the one I just did, the last one, the one's in private and one's in the actual chat for everybody.
Gotcha. Okay, my bad.
Get off the sauce, dude.
Yeah, I'm telling you, sinus headache today is killing me. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you everybody for joining Ed Parcaut and myself today. God, I was going to say this week. Yeah, this week too on ACES 53. So for you guys don't know, on days like today, on Tuesdays, it's Ed and I. We sit around and we catch up on what we're working on right now. And then on some Thursdays, we bring in a special guest we call a joker. That's somebody with a special skill or talent that we want to learn from and bring to you guys as well. So the best way to support us is to like and subscribe. And thank you for being here. Thank you, Ed.
All right. Make it a great